You know, one of the most unique jobs in the world is also one of the most dangerous. They're harbor pilots. And no, they don't fly planes. They guide all these big ships in and out of Tampa Bay. Tonight, an exclusive ride along with some of those who are making waves, the big ones in the middle of the bay. They're the 200,000-ton behemoths of the sea, hauling gas, goods, and people in and out of Tampa Bay. $24 billion worth in economic value every year. But their captains aren't the ones steering them under the skyway.
Pilot will board you at 10 knots.
A few miles off Egmont Key, one of Tampa Bay's harbor pilots hops on, literally while on the move, climbing aboard to guide them in. Harbor pilots spend years studying Tampa Bay's waters and need to be at every ship captain's side, calling out every command. So they not only have to be maritime experts, but athletes, often climbing up to 25 to 30-foot rope ladder.
Yeah, he's got his days.
Tevin Freeman took a cruise when he was 6, and he was hooked by the sea. He remembers vividly his first climb and the first time he steered his first vessel under that Skyway Bridge.
It was nerve-wracking for sure, yeah, you know, because you hear the stories, you know, so you're a little nervous about it, but it was cool.
Then there's Kyle O'Connor. He grew up on the water and on ships. His father's a harbor pilot in Jacksonville.
To finally be able to take over that, you know, the con of the ship and pilot it myself was a dream come true.
And they make it look easy. But a split-second slip or loss of grip on a transfer can be deadly. This is also the most dangerous time of year because with these winter fronts come the more treacherous conditions. We're only doing this right now in about 2 to 3 foot seas with a very light wind. Imagine when one of these fronts comes through.
You know, that's the toughest part of the job, really, is that ladder.
And Mother Nature's only one challenge. Terry Fluke is executive director of the Tampa Bay Harbor Pilots Association. He tells me Tampa Bay is the toughest of all the ports in Florida to navigate because Tampa Bay as a whole is extremely shallow with an average depth of around only 11 feet. And the channels that lead into Port Manatee, St. Pete, and Port of Tampa are well marked but extremely narrow. How narrow? Ships must pass through each channel in the bay within feet of each other, day and night, with no room for error.
The bottom line is we have to be 100% right 100% of the time.
But below the surface lies another problem. Ships have more draft than smaller boats. That's the amount of ship below the surface. The big ones can have drafts up to 25 to 30 feet, which means with a 38 to 40 foot deep channel, there are times some ships have just 3 feet of clearance to the bottom of the bay.
And our pilots watch tides. We do movements based on tides. If there's not enough water to maintain that clearance, then it's a no-go situation.
Yeah, that's correct. We're going to turn it around and go port side 2 up there.
And it's just as delicate a tap dance in the port when they've got to move ships to make room for others.
We have to turn the ship around twice, also in small areas, so we're really just worried about space.
Also coordinating with tugboats, pushing and pulling.
Or a dead slow ahead.
Dead slow ahead.
The toughest three-point turn you may ever see.
This ship is a little over 600 feet long, but the channel itself is only 500 feet wide.
A short time later, the all clear is given.
And both tugs can run along.
Just another day in the life at the top of Tampa Bay's supply line.
It's a pretty good life.
In their office with a view that never gets old. Now, harbor pilots earn their 6-figure salaries. In fact, after 10 years of study, school, and training, that's when they get these jobs. And they're incredibly rare because once they're placed, they often stay there until they retire. There are about 1,200 harbor pilots all across the country, 18 here in Tampa Bay, and their senior-most pilot here locally is a woman. Hey there, Scott.
Very cool story, Mark.